Well, a very good morning, Dirtfish Rally friends. It is the final day of the Monte Carlo Rally. And David, we're filled with excitement even on the drive across here to the opening stage. Why is that?
It's so icy, Cole. There's so much snow in some places. We don't know. We haven't had a forecast really or not a forecast, but any data from what's going on the tops on Turini or many of the stages. But as we've come from our house, which is pretty high, we've come over a col of about 1,100 meters. There was bits of snow, but proper ice. It's not actually that cold. It's around 1 degree, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's going to get colder. That's the interesting thing as we head towards 8, 9 o'clock. But the really interesting thing is we've seen a number of cars with quite, would you say, a reasonable amount of snow on them?
Yeah,
reasonable amount of snow on them. What have we got here? Studs? No. Winters with no studs.
Yeah, winters all around, no studs in there.
No studs in there, that's interesting.
Elliot, let's just have a look.
Let's take a look as we head back.
They're covered over.
This, Elliot, where are you? Whoops.
That's a zero car coming through, Cole.
I have to say, he's a little bit late. He's a little bit late going in, but let's head back a wee bit. Take a wee look. Josh has got winters with no studs. Yeah, this is interesting, David. Really interesting.
I don't think anybody seems to have taken a stud this morning, Cole. No studs. I think they're all... Oh, hang on. No studs. It's so difficult to see in the dark, isn't it? It's a ridiculous thing to say.
I keep losing Elliot, our cameraman. What is interesting is that these tyre choices, we have the ice crews going through. Now, the ice crews would have wanted to get the information back to the crews before they left service. In order to do that, they have to drive this stage and the next one. The next one's 2 hours away. So the ice crews may well have come to this stage 2 or 3 hours ago, David.
And the weather has evolved so much.
Evolved.
We know that just before it goes light, just before dawn, the temperature can drop again.
Oh, jeez. It's very noisy. Very, very noisy. Yeah, look, it is an interesting situation. It is only 50 kilometers today, but 3 quite different stages that potentially could all have very different conditions in them.
Totally, and it was Sebastian, wasn't it, yesterday that said that there was he was the first one to talk about its potential for snow on Turini on the 3rd stage, the final stage today. But it's a clear sky here, Cole.
I tell you what, I'd love to see, David. I'd love to see, and we'll find out shortly. I'd love to see what's in the boot, because there are no studs on the cars.
No, we checked on both of the
studs in the boot or not?
No, they were in red bags. You couldn't see.
You couldn't see, right? But okay, that's Munster, Gregoire Munster heading into the stage. Josh McEnlane just behind him, and then Thierry Neuville. Bit of news on Neuville overnight, David.
Yes, he was fined €10,000 for, obviously, as you pointed out in your brilliant video, Cole, you've got to have a freely rotating wheel and tyre complete. And his wasn't rotating, was it? It was locked.
Absolutely. Now go back and watch our video, because what you can see is it's a new tyre. He came out the stage and the wheel was locked. They then stopped and they made the repair. And what you saw in our video was as they headed into service and the tyre was rotating. Now, this is interesting.
Studs.
Interesting. Studs on Pierre's car. Is it studs all round? And Neuville. Elliot, Neuville had studs? Okay, on his front left now. So it's a crossover by the looks of things.
Well, that's more interesting, Cole, because that's not a winter.
That's not a winter, is it? No, it's a super soft.
So you've gone from really...
Yeah, that's really interesting. Is that maybe, David, because he's used the Optimum tyre? I don't know. Really interesting, that.
Potentially, but now he's going to have, between the corners of the car, massive varying grip levels.
That's very strange indeed. Let's go back and have a look here. Katsuta-san, studs. Morning, Takamoto, we'll leave you to it. Yeah, that's, again, David, same as Pierre on this one.
Yeah.
It's busy. It's really busy because of this situation with the route no crews, I think. And it's a short liaison.
Let's look
Let's
what's
have a
in
look.
the boot.
Let's have a look, see what's in the boot here. Are they Winters?
Yeah.
Winters in the boot for Sammy then.
So what does that tell us, Colin, about this stage? That this one, perhaps, you'd say it's not going to be quite as icy, but...
Well, yeah, I don't know. It's interesting they've gone with studs. They're expecting a little bit of ice, but probably predominantly clear of ice, a little bit damp, maybe even a little bit dry.
Maybe there's only ice on the right-handers.
That's exactly what it is.
We figured it out.
Oh,
Yeah, I think you're right, Colin. I think everybody is a little bit busier here.
Yeah.
Because of trying to get that data through and trying to get that information through. It's remarkable on these tarmac rallies. Co-drivers rarely get out of the car.
We won't disturb them. It's a quite short, as I say, liaison from service as well. When we get long liaisons, they turn up early. As we saw yesterday, plenty of time. They were all very relaxed.
This is a studless Winter, isn't it?
Yeah, that's got studs on it.
So he studs all round.
Wow, that's quite a different choice. And what is Thierry Neuville's objective today? It's to score as many points as he can.
Exactly.
He's got to
be racy.
He's got to be racy. He might go for a gamble out there today. And we talked about that with the other two Hyundais, David. Tanak isn't that far off the lead. A really winning, ballsy gamble for one of those Hyundais could put them in the battle with Ogier.
But equally...
Hello, Taka-san. Look at this. Look at this. Taka-san's come to have a little look. Is he questioning?
No, just a bit of data. But that, you see, Colin, that's the difference.
That is the difference.
Is that he's got studs all round.
Yeah.
On two corners, he's got a racing tyre.
But would you want to know that? And you go, Neuville's got studs. That puts a bit of doubt into your mind. Have I got this right? Yeah. I'm not sure I would want to know. Terry, what are you hearing about the ice and snow in this stage?
Not more than the others. I think nobody really knows what will be. So it's a gamble, but
it's a gamble to try and score.
We will only see at the end of the day.
Oh, it's exciting, isn't it? Good luck out there, Thierry. Good luck.
It is. It's a gamble, but almost, Colin, it's a kind of a safer gamble, isn't it? You know,
absolutely.
The big gamble is to take the racing,
absolutely,
more of a racing option.
Absolutely.
It's getting a bit colder, Cole.
Well, the interesting thing is that it's now, just before 7 o'clock. It will continue to get colder, according to my forecast, until around about 8:30, and then it'll get progressively warmer, so it'll dip below freezing. The coldest point this morning, just after 8 o'clock, so it's continuing to freeze.
I am quite surprised. Exactly what you said about Taka jumping out and going and having a look at what Thierry's got, because it does sow that seed in your mind, doesn't it? That as soon as he goes off the line, if there's a bit more ice, he's immediately thinking, "I'm losing time."
Yeah, it introduces that element of doubt into his mind.
You make your choice, Colin. You get on with it.
Correct.
But I've got to say, this is quite remarkable to have that racing tyre on the left rear and a stud on the right rear.
That'll be the super softs. But still, the difference in grip will be remarkable, won't it?
Yeah. And still quite a lot of people coming in, a lot of spectators coming. They've got 4 kilometres to walk to the start.
I find this remarkable. They've got up early on a cold Sunday morning and they're not going to see any action.
No.
You know, but they're enjoying it. And it is the great thing, isn't it? This is one of the real spectacles of rallying for me.
Sadly for them, they haven't got in early enough.
Well, now this is Cali Rovenpera. Yeah, studs on the front right. Can't see what's on the left. Ogier is the man with a bit of an advantage this morning, but that battle behind now. David, what's going on here? That's a slick again, a super soft.
Yeah, so obviously, Cole, they're getting more and more information, aren't they? As they get closer to the stage, they're probably more. The weather crews will be in there.
And not just that, David. These guys have got the advantage of the team being able to watch all live, and potentially feeding back information from what they're seeing and hearing on all live.
Which they can do. As soon as they go into the stage, all team communication is cut to the car until they come out the other end. But you're exactly right. We know now that cars are into the stage. Are they?
Yeah. It'll be Munster will be in.
So the indication would be, Cole, that it's not as icy as they think, because he's taken a stud off the...
I think that's what's happened. I'm not entirely sure. We weren't here when this all started, but yeah, I think you're right. Again, the crossover with the studs. No, that's interesting, David. So that's 2 slicks on the rear. But he's going to put that on. Surely he's going to put the studs.
So he's still got a stud on the front. Is there a stud on this side?
That's interesting. I think he's going to go crossed over.
Maybe.
Yeah, there we go. There we go. So he's going crossover.
Yeah.
So again, a late decision potentially from.
So
Cali
he's taken slicks off the car and put the stud in.
Looks that way. Now, this is a man that potentially, if a gamble goes his way today, could get right back into the front. Where's Elliot gone? I keep losing our cameraman. I don't know where he is. There he is. He's up there watching Oit. Let's have a little look and see what Oit's doing here. There's a stud on the right, on the left, on the right, sorry. Winter tyre left. That's interesting. So it's not a slick, it's a winter tyre crossover.
This is more similar to what we saw from Munster, wasn't it, at the beginning? Should we try and grab a quick word with Oit?
On you go.
Oit, good morning. What are you hearing about what the conditions are like in here?
Freezing more and more. Yeah.
More and more. Do you have a slick option in the car?
Yeah.
So,
What did he say?
freezing more and more, that's nice.
Freezing more and more. That's what we're saying. Until round about 8 o'clock, maybe.
And this is the point. This is why we've seen Cali take those slicks off.
Yeah.
Now, potentially, who's got it right? You'd have to say who's gone on the full slick? Thierry.
That's wrong. The full studs. You mean?
Full studs. Sorry.
Full studs. Jeez, you got me for a second. I don't normally question you. Did you see the little what?
The full stud, and that so immediately, as we've seen with Taka, he's gone and had a look. So he's thinking straight away.
And do you know what? It doesn't take. Look at this here. This is damp here. It doesn't take long for that dampness to turn to ice, and I think that's maybe what we're seeing with Cali changing his tyre choice, with Oit going with the studs there, and it'll be interesting to see what Ogier goes with. The last of our Rally 1 cars on the road, but there is still very much a battle on, for I think the win here, David, because if Ogier, it would be the most remarkable thing, but if he makes a mistake with his tyre choice this morning, it gives the 3 behind him a real chance.
Or, if it doesn't need to be a mistake, if you don't immediately get the confidence with that car, with the feeling, with the tyre, you can ship 10, 15 seconds immediately, can't you? And then suddenly you go into the next one.
Yeah.
You're down to 8 seconds, and then you go into the final stage, you're down to 2.
And if you're chasing,
and it's an enormous fight.
Yeah, fantastic stuff. It really is. Oit Tanak was remarkable yesterday afternoon. 4 stage wins out of 6 yesterday. Seems to have found a balance and a setup on this car that suits him, David.
He absolutely was quickest on the final stage of the morning yesterday, as well as he dialed the car into to the tarmac.
No, he wasn't. It was the middle stage of the morning.
Was it? Sorry,
that's all right, man. No, that's all right. It was Takamoto that was quickest on the one before service.
The difference now, though, is that the conditions are radically different again from yesterday, aren't they? There are slicks in there, but we're back onto the heavily treaded winter tyre with the stud.
And the thing we haven't mentioned, David, is it's dark. I mean, we don't really need to mention it, but the evolving light makes a difference. It makes an enormous difference. The lights they've got in the front of these cars are remarkable these days, but the natural light, the 3-minute extra lighting period between cars makes a big difference. Oh, hello.
Yeah, it will make a big difference, Cole.
Elvin Evans, let's go and have a look and see what he's got. Studs. I think it's studs all round for Evans, David.
Already looking at his tyres in the car.
Studs all round. Let's check the back. Right. I can't imagine it's anything other than studs all round. Now, David, it's worth reiterating. Tyre choice here this morning. You go out with what you've got and you continue on through the day with what you've got. So there's no tyres on.
It's one of the great aspects of the Monte Carlo Rally, isn't it? That you have this opportunity to get the tyre choice radically wrong or radically right. We're sitting here saying, Taka, is sowing that seed, going out, looking at Thierry. What's Thierry got? Thierry could have it perfect for this stage, but come the next one, like you said, could be complete. No, it's not going to be completely dry, but it could be drying quickly. We're not in kind of -10, and it's not going to take ages. Equally, the second stage does start not long after it's at its coldest point.
Yeah, no, it is going to be at more or less its coldest point for that second stage, and then the uncertainty of what's going to happen on the Col de Turini, which we know is the highest point of this morning's loop, but it's the farthest south. So many factors that could play into this year. It's quite remarkable. It really is.
Historically, you'd have to say when when we moved the event to Gap, to Valence, one of the reasons was to try and chase the snow, wasn't it? Because, the Alpes-Maritimes, as the name would suggest, they're closer to the sea, closer to the Mediterranean. They're not quite as high. The mountains further in the Haute Alpes.
Les Hautes Alpes, ouais.
Les Hautes Alpes, they are higher. So, yeah. But
so this is where you come into your own, David. You really do. I really respect your geographical knowledge. And those 3 years spent at Staffordshire University doing a joint honours degree in geography.
I think
really,
the
really,
important
really.
thing is that there's not a lot of snow on the Cascade Mountains this morning. Maybe the Appalachians have got a bit.
Maybe a little bit on the Appalachians. So don't forget, 20 seconds, the difference between Elvin Evans and Sebastien Ogier. Just 2 seconds down then to, 4 seconds down to Adrien Fourmeau, 2 seconds down to Oyt Tanak. It is remarkably close at the front. That is Adrien Fourmeau.
It is important, Colin, to reiterate what we've said. But let's just have a look. Elliot, at the tyres.
Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. I really expected to see. Well, that's a slip. I expected to see.
Now, God, it's crucial.
That is interesting, David.
What's crucial is what he's got in the boot. Does he have studs in the boot?
And what's crucial is what Ogier's gone with. Let's take a look here. Oh, a stud. This is the...
Yep, full stud.
Wow. That's the gamble, David. That is the gamble in front of us. That's a gamble for the win. That's a gamble for the win.
But is he going to keep those tyres on? Does he have studs in the boot, and will he put...
Well, he's not jumping out.
No, and I wouldn't have thought you'd take a stud in the boot, because you're less likely... Wow. It's a shot quite literally in the dark, so we don't know what's on the top of Turini, do we?
No, we really don't. But what's interesting is, really from Taka down, stud seems to be the choice. Fourmeau's gone with that crossover. That's really interesting. And it's a slick, isn't it? It's not even a winter cross.
Yeah.
So it's a super soft stud cross. Wow. Now, Fourmeau is very relaxed as always. Oh, Adrien Fourmeau. He'll be watching. He's watching what's going on. Adrien, really interesting that you've gone with a crossover. The boys around you have gone with full studs. I think, is this a gamble potentially for the win?
Well, we'll see. We'll see if it works. The first stage is mixed. It's quite damp and wet, and some frost, but not so much. And then the two of us, we'll see. The Turini is quite far away, and it's a long stage. So along the loop, we hope it's gonna work.
Wow.
Did he mention that? Has he heard about snow in Turini? Or?
No, it's a long way away, and he's right. It is a long way away.
Yeah.
That shows confidence. That shows confidence,
It
David.
does, but I would love to know what's in the boot there.
Yeah, so would I. We'll see whether he opens it.
But
now look at this. Look at this. There's a picture and a face of. Look at that. Focus and concentration. Watching all live. Is that just the kind of, it's early, I've got a job to do? Is that? I'm wondering. Is this?
No. I would say in Sebastien Ogier's mind now, there is no doubt he's got it right. He's done this so many times. He's got such self-confidence, hasn't he? He's got, and quite rightly so. He is the master here. Absolutely.
The Monte Master, absolutely. Oh, there goes.
We're starting to bank the cars up now towards the junction.
It is very calm round here. Fourmeau knows what he's got. Let's have a look. I thought he was going to open the boot there for a second, David, but they're very calm, as you say. Really nothing more they can do. We did see Cali Rovanpera making a last-minute change. These other guys, Elvin, let's see what he's got in the back, David. All studs for Elvin, and in the back, as you would expect.
That's kind of what you'd expect.
It is what you
expect.
expect.
Because this, it's a softer compound.
Yeah.
But you're not going to use these tyres too much, are you?
No.
I mean, the stage, as you said, we've got 50 kilometres. these tyres would do 50 kilometres. So that would indicate that we don't have a huge amount of
Snow in the forecast, maybe for
Yeah.
Turini. It does change, as David will tell you with his geography knowledge. These things can change very quickly when you've got mountains. And
They
that
can do,
year, the year that it snowed when Tanak had that incredible performance down the Col de Turini, no one expected that snow. No one expected it.
We're 5 hours away from Turini.
Yeah, yeah.
Right, in terms of the time of the day. You'd have to say that there's not a lot of cloud around at all here, Cole.
It's
very
freezing,
dark.
David.
But
It's absolutely freezing. There's
can
no
s-
cloud. Right, there we go. Yeah, it's a fascinating morning. What more can we say, folks? We just have to watch and wait and enjoy what I think is going to be a real morning of toing and froing. We can't decide at the end of this stage. It's very much compromise
Across the whole loop.
and who's worked out the best compromise.
Yeah, it is that constantly moving equation, isn't it?
Yeah.
As the weather comes in. And yeah, and apologies. It's been slightly frantic in the dark.
Frantic
in the cold.
but fun.
He's on slicks. He's on slicks.
There is the man that I think has taken the gamble. There is the man that's taken a gamble with one eye on winning this event still. 22 seconds, 23 seconds off the
Done
lead.
very well there, Cole.
You know, half a second decay. Yeah, if he's got it right, the others have got it wrong, he's in for a chance.
And in these conditions, as we said, anything can happen. If you don't immediately get that feeling, then you can ship that time. It's all about the confidence.
It's all
And
about
it's-
the confidence
it
and
comes
the
in
self-belief.
And the first few corners.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about. Isn't
Yeah.
it? Just getting this. And it's so difficult, Cole, to try and get heat into these tyres. You know, the what are you staring at?
Oh, I think there's a blue light came on in the middle of the... Anyone seen that blue light before? It's gone off now.
I didn't see
There's
it.
a blue light came on in the middle of the
Are you
screen
sure
there.
really?
No, I'm not imagining things. It was definitely a blue light. No, I think it's a fascinating morning. These are the kind of mornings, David. It's a cliche, but that we live for. Because,
Totally.
And you know, it's what we've missed since they've tightened up the tyre regulations. You know, this kind of drama. Who's got it right? Whose compromise is the best compromise? Who's got it wrong? Who's
And sadly,
believing
Cole,
in
it
the
only
choices?
comes on the Monte,
It
doesn't
only
it?
comes on the Monte.
Where you have this
Yeah.
massive diversity between
Yeah.
grip levels and
Yeah.
what the tyre can do.
It's such
Yeah,
a shame because it really does just, you know, we're in the middle of a field in rural France, David, on a Sunday morning, people coming out of the dark with their head torches. You know, the best drivers in the world. We had here 10 Rally 1 cars worth maybe 10 million euros.
Yeah.
And we're talking about studs. We're talking about tyre
And it
compounds.
comes down to 4 choices.
To win one of the world's great motorsport events. Oh, my
Absolutely.
goodness me. Folks, 3 stages to go. It is a long traverse between those 3 stages, but we're going to follow them down the mountains, down the Route Napoleon. We are heading to Col de Turini. Are we heading for a dramatic finish to this event? I've got no doubt we are. Stick with us, folks. Dirtfish.com. 3 more to go. Let's head, Davey.
To
back our
Monaco.
car. On we go. Napoleon, here we come.